Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. The 2023 election is being threatened as the country has witnessed a series of attacks on the independent National Electoral Commission offices around the country. The recent attacks in Imo State have raised an alarm about what many have said is a move to scare voters away from the 2023 election in terms of participation. The police, during the counter-attack yesterday, killed 3 assailants and demobilized their vehicles. The Imo State Commissioner for Police confirmed the killings and the arrest of 2 of the hoodlums. In his reaction, the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodinma, expressed disappointment over the attack, blaming it on politicians who, according to him, do not want elections to hold in the state.
Can you see it? Everything there got damaged. Then the media house was also attacked. Then our accounts office was attacked. Then some of our vehicles, you can see the 2 of them here, burnt down, burnt. Then some of them, the glasses broken, the windscreen broken.
Okay, any PVCs taken, any?
We don't actually keep our PVCs, so I don't know.
So, you know...
we don't know yet.
Okay.
Until we actually go.
And later proceeded towards Port Harcourt Road. So after getting to Port Harcourt Road, they now went to INEC office. Our men at INEC office now engaged them too, but there were so many. So some of them were now throwing dynamite and petrol bomb into INEC building. So that was why it caught fire. But because of the firing of my men, they were not able to go with one of their vehicles. So they left the Lexus Jeep there. So from there, they were now trying to escape. They don't know about our own strategy too. So they now gave them a hot chase. So we are able to neutralize 3, recover 3 AK, and recover 3 pump actions with some of their IEDs, and in fact about 4 of their vehicles. So these are the 3 being neutralized. Now we not stop there. We now went ahead again. We have been able to arrest 2 alive.
Well, you see, the issue here is not just banditry. It's trying to understand the motive behind the action and why is INEC the target. And if you collaborate this with events of the past, where I have continuously said that what is happening in Imo State is politically contrived. Some people who think that they can win elections, yes, they don't want elections. How would they then win? INEC does not need this distraction at this point and stage of our elections. INEC should be supported by all and sundry. But contrary to that, we now see people creating distractions here and there, attacking innocent people. Why INEC? That is the big question. And if we now put 1 and 2 together, we're collecting that some people have threatened that Imo State will be ungovernable and there will be no elections in Imo State. That is their attempt to achieve their purpose. But I think police is prepared, security agencies are ready, and there will be elections by the grace of God.
Joining us on the morning show this morning to discuss these attacks on INEC facilities in Imo State and elsewhere is Lebari Nduh, Director of Security for INEC. Mr. Nduh, we're glad to have you on the program. Well, let me ask you. Look, this issue of attacks on INEC facilities, Imo State, Osun State. In Imo State now is the 3rd time. Osun State, Ogun State, Ebonyi State, elsewhere. And the Inspector General of Police promised us, the National Security Advisor also promised us that there is a security architecture in place, to use their phrase, to protect INEC facilities ahead of the election. You are the director in charge of security. Why is it that this architecture has collapsed even before the election? What is wrong? Is it a problem of capacity or lack of synergy?
Well, thank you very much. I won't say the security architecture has collapsed. They are trying their best. All they need to do is to up their game. The problem is security is everybody's business. And critical stakeholders of the Nigerian society should supply credible information to the security agencies so that the synergy they have can be properly utilized and nip these things in the bud. These men who go to destroy these offices, they are not from Cameroon. They are not from Guinea-Bissau. They are among us in this country. They are Nigerians. They live with us. They leave our houses. They tell people where they are going. And when they come back, they tell people what they have done. So it is not as if it is hidden. We know them. But because punishment is not meted out to criminals in this society, that's why you see what is being done. Nobody is held responsible. Nobody is punished for the dereliction of duty. Nobody is reported for leaving what he's supposed to do and doing the wrong thing. Otherwise, these things that are happening shouldn't happen. We trust the security agencies. After all, when they go to perform duties elsewhere, they are always rated as the best. Why is it that when they come to this place, we are having these issues? Something is wrong somewhere. Somebody has to accept responsibility and somebody has to be punished for these things to come to an end.
All right, from what you're saying, Mr. Nduh, you're saying that you're pushing responsibility to the security agents and that there are some things that they're not quite telling the Nigerian people as to these incessant attacks on INEC offices. So I'd like to ask you that from your perspective. Okay, go ahead. You're going to respond to that? Or let me ask my question. From your perspective, following the attacks in Osun State, in Ebonyi repeatedly, Enugu and Imo, what has been the outcome? Do we have a report? For those that might have been apprehended, what has been the penalties that has been meted on them, like you mentioned? And these ones that have been recently caught yesterday, what will be, how are we going to use that to prevent further attacks in the future on INEC offices?
Well, we want to thank God that at least and at last, 2 people have been caught. The police, which is the lead security agent in electoral activities, will do all they can to get to the root of the matter. These 2 that have been caught and those that were demobilized came from somewhere. That's what I'm saying. As far as we are concerned in the Independent National Electoral Commission, you know, we don't have power of investigation. It is only the 2022 Electoral Act that has now given us power to prosecute. Let them finish their investigation and they come, because what they have done is to destroy critical national assets. Today is INEC. Who knows the next organization it will be? What I'm trying to say in summary is Nigerians should not allow their critical national assets to be continually destroyed. We are saying there is no money. And the money that we have, which should be used for other social infrastructures, will continue to be pumped back to the ones that have been destroyed, because election must hold. And we thank God that their aim was not successful, because the reason why they did that, they thought that INEC sensitive materials were there for them to destroy, knowing that these sensitive materials will take time before we can procure it again. Election is very close. And so they came to destroy it, but thank God they couldn't get to where it was.
Sir, you are the Director of Security in INEC. What responsibility are you going to take yourself in all of this that has happened? What responsibility, as a Director of Security in INEC, what responsibility are you going to take for all of this that keeps happening to INEC, since you're the Director of Security? Isn't it time we looked at you critically and asked you to take responsibility?
And as far as, yes, I will take the responsibility of ensuring that those who were supposed to do their bit are asked questions. And if their questions are not satisfactory, of course, punishment will follow.
How many have you asked? How many have you asked in the attacks in Ogun? How many have you asked in the attacks in other parts of the country on INEC offices? What responsibility are you taking? Because in the buck stops with you as INEC.
INEC is exhausting. INEC is exhausting its internal disciplinary measures. Those who were responsible are being queried. And there's a panel that has been set up to look into these matters. And until the panel submits their report, we cannot jump to the conclusion whether they know anything or they don't know anything. For now, they are facing disciplinary action.
Mr. Nduh, let's leave disciplinary action. That's an internal administrative process. We would like to know, how capable is your office? What is the arrangement, the internal arrangement in terms of how INEC secures its own offices, processes, or, you know, you just rely on the Inspector General of Police and other security agencies or the National Security Advisor? After all, INEC to conduct elections relies on ad hoc staff. Is the security department also managed on an ad hoc basis, or you have capacity? Tell us how your office is organized and how much security you can provide across the country. That's the question.
The management of the commission noted that INEC does not have the entire capacity to manage each security arrangement. And that's why they formed what is called Interconsultative Committee on Election Security, with the police as the lead agency, with the military, paramilitary agencies as members. It dovetails from the national to the local government level. At the state level, the Commissioner of Police and the Resident Electoral Commissioner are the co-chair. At the national level, the NSA and the chairman of the commission are members. At the local government level, we have the DPO and the electoral officer as co-chairs. Their main duty is to synergize, collect information, and act on it before the public knows. I can assure you that the commission is doing its best, using all powers within its capabilities to ensure that apart from the ISES, they strengthen their own capacity. They strengthen the capacity of its security network, not just in form of guarding the offices, but in form of synergizing, collecting intelligence and information to pass on to actionable authorities to do it. And I think we will up our game as we have been upping.
All right, thank you, Mr. Nduh. Well, unfortunately, despite upping your game, we still have seen, and just evidenced by what happened yesterday, attacks on INEC offices. But let's talk about the sensitive materials that you spoke about earlier on, saying that, thankfully, sensitive materials weren't affected. Now, internally, there are videos that have come up on social media where sensitive materials have been in the hands of people that they ought not to have been in. What is the assurance for Nigerians watching that sensitive materials, like you've talked about, are protected and consequently votes are protected so that people's information and materials that would be used for election next year would not get into the wrong hands? Do we have sufficient internal processes to ensure this?
Yes, we have internal processes to guarantee that particularly permanent voters' card are not given to those who do not own it. We are no longer collecting, we are no longer distributing, we are not collecting. Registers are kept, information is kept. If you are not the owner of the permanent voters card, of course you cannot get it. The ICT and the voter registry have done a synergy, and there have been, the commission for the first time have rolled out roles, responsibilities what each and everybody will do within the ladder to ensure that only the person whose face and biometrics are on the voter's card collect it. However, once they have collected it, the responsibility to keep it and hold it is no longer that of INEC. It is the responsibility of the owner. So Nigerians should also know that that is the weapon they have. If they think that the government is bad, that is the weapon they have. If they think the government is good, that is the weapon they have. If they sell it or if they give it out, INEC cannot ask you not to give out what you have. It is a responsibility to hold it jealously and know that with that, you can ask people to enter into social contract with you.
Okay, two things. Number one, I'd like to go back to those administrative internal matters in INEC. You said you're investigating. Are there suspicions of complicity of people internally and those without? Because you said you're investigating. Because all these attacks look systematic, looks coordinated. Secondly, in the attack that happened in Abeokuta, the INEC chief said that if they can get the VIN numbers, they can reprint them. But also in one video that went viral, we saw, and this was the reaction of Mr. Okoye, we saw that they were writing the numbers, the voter identification numbers, to be able to put on a portal. I ask you, is it that INEC doesn't have the voter identification numbers of voters? Clarify on that, please.
Let me start from the last question. If we don't have voter identification number, how do we print the cards? We can't print the cards without the voter identification number. So we have the voter identification number. But to be doubly sure, once we give out these cards, these VIN numbers are also given to the state. So the state should give us what they have so that we don't duplicate or go and do what we don't need to do by printing cards that are already in existence. Because don't forget, these cards is not just the last registration. Cards are there from 2011. Nigerians have refused to go and collect their cards. And INEC is appealing and will continue to appeal. Nigerians should go and collect their cards. The era of distribution is gone. INEC, as a measure to ensure that these cards will not get into wrong hands, have decided that individuals will come and collect. For now, we are collecting at the local government level. After the local government level, we look at the level of collection and then decide to devolve when the mechanisms are in place to the ROA level. That's what they call the ward level. And as far as we are concerned, we are ready. And the chairman's statement that those cards will be printed, I repeat it and I reiterate it, you can take it to the bank because it is true.
Okay,
once it comes, like some have come, it will be done. Then the first question.
Yes.
We are not suspecting anything until the investigation is concluded. We will give everybody a fair chance, a fair hearing, so that the lawyers will not accuse us of not giving people fair hearing. Everybody will be given a fair hearing. Tell us what you know, and we'll use our knowledge and investigation to find out whether you are complicit in it or you are not complicit. But for now, until the reports are submitted, management cannot come to a conclusion to say this is that or this is that.
Okay, Mr. Nduh, we have just about a few seconds to go. We've been talking about physical security of facilities. How about the security of data, cloud computing, beyond the physical infrastructure that we've been talking about? Or your work does not extend to that area? As briefly as possible.
It does. The commission is on top of the game. Just like the chairman said during the Osun governorship election, when people try to hack our system from outside this country, the commission with its engineers have designed means and ways through which nobody can hack into our system. Our data is intact.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Nduh, for joining us on The Morning Show.